Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rabbi Eliezer Melamed, Shlita. Hope everyone had a great Shabbos. We had a wonderful Simcha here this Shabbos, and also here in our community, the privilege to welcome 28 guests from our partner community, Kibbutz Perez, members of the Kitat Konanut, of the security forces and their families, giving them a week here in the States, showing them the sights, giving them the respite and the break that they need. Thanks to Project 24 for making that happen, and our incredible community for stepping up and volunteering. Really going to be something special. And we continue davening for Chayalei Tzva Gana Yisrael, Refuah Shalem L'Chol Petzuei Yisrael, safe return of our hostages. And we dedicate our learning to Nishmat, Seren Daniel Shema Ben Rav Duran V'Sheli Hashem Yikom Damo. The next chapter, Smichas Geulah L'Tefillah. Ikar HaGeulah Haisa Bayom. The main redemption took place in the daytime. Shaz Yatzu B'nei Yisrael miMitzrayim, V'lachein Ikar Chiyuv Smichas Geulah L'Tefillah Hu B'Tefillah Shachris. The Jewish people left in the daytime from Egypt. Therefore, we have this principle of placing Geulah, redemption, as close to the Tefillah, the Shemona Esrei, as possible. So the main part of doing that is in Shachris. When we call Makom, Kivin Shekvar B'Layla Hitzchila HaGeulah, Gam B'Layla Yesh Mitzvah L'Smoch Geulah B'Tefillah. But the Geulah, the redemption, started at night, even though it took place or finalized in the daytime. But since it started at night, so we have a similar concept to have Smichas Geulah L'Tefillah at nighttime as well. Ella, She'em Medaktikim B'Smichas Geulah L'Tefillah Ba'arvus Kavishim Medaktim B'Shachris. But we're not as careful or as insistent on the precise nature of this Smichos at Maariv as we are in Shachris. What does that mean? L'chein, Yachlo Chachamim L'Sakein Es Birchas Hashkevenu Achras Birchas Geulah Yisrael. We have the bracha of Geulah Yisrael, and if we had true Smichas Geulah L'Tefillah, we go straight to Shemona Esrei. But instead, Chazal instituted and inserted the bracha of Hashkevenu. V'chshiva also kehemshech leberchas Geulah Yisrael, and they considered it as a continuation of the bracha of Geulah Yisrael. Shebeberchas Geulah Yisrael anu mevarchim al Geulas haklal. In that bracha of Geulah Yisrael, we're making a blessing on the general redemption. Ubahashkevenu anu mevakshim al Geulas hayochim min hasakanos shel halayla. And in Hashkevenu, we're asking for a personal redemption, preventing the harms and the terrors of night or any dangers at night from reaching us. If we were truly insistent on having Geulah next to Tefillah, then we never would have instituted Hashkevenu. Not only that, but we also insert a half Kaddish after the blessings of Kriya Shema before Shemona Esrei. Shekachu Seder HaTefillah. This is the order of davening. Shebechol Ma'avar Mishlav L'Shlav Shebetefillah Tiknu L'Makadish. Because we know that when we exit one portion of Tefillah to the next, going from one stage to the next, there is always a Kaddish recited. In Shachris, it would have been appropriate, or it would have been indicated that we should recite a Kaddish, finishing the blessings of Kriya Shema, and then going on to the next section of Shemona Esrei. It would have made sense to insert a Kaddish there, if not for the prohibition of interrupting between Geulah and Tefillah, and that's why we don't have a Kaddish. And again, in Maariv, since we're not as medaktek, we're not as insistent on this closeness, so therefore we could put a Kaddish in as well. V'chein nogin b'makomos rabim, shebelel Rosh Chodesh hagabay machriz l'fnei Tefillah samid yalav yavo ubelal zayin b'mar cheshvan shemaschilin levakesh geshamim hagabay machriz talamotar. We have a custom also in many places. Let's say it's Rosh Chodesh, and right before you get to Shemona Esrei, the Gabbai will give a clap on the table, but it'll also say out loud, Yalav Yavo, or the 7th of Mar Cheshvan, which we just had, and for those in Eretz Yisrael, of course, when we start to say V'sein Talamatar, we don't say it here until December, but if the night before Zayin Mar Cheshvan, and they have to announce to say V'sein Talamatar, the Gabbai will make an announcement. V'av sheb'shachris ein maspikin. That should read mafsikin. That's a little bit of my Hebrew dyslexia kicking in. Ein mafsikin b'dibur. And even though in Shachris, normally I would edit that out, but I just want to show you that I'm actually human. Even in Shachris, when we don't have any interruptions with any sort of speech, so in Shachris, since you're not allowed to say anything between Geulah and Tefillah, but we want to let people know that there's something different, like a Yalav Yavo, or something like that, or an Ala Nisim, so we don't say it, we just give the famous klap on the bima. But Ba'arvis Makilon Lahazkir Bepet at Maariv, one could say it out loud. You could actually say V'sein Talamata. You could say Mashiv Aruch. You could say Yalav Yavo Ala Hanisim, etc. V'yeshigam Ba'arvis Dovkan Al Tev Gadesh Lo Lahafsik B'dibur. There are some also that are insistent that no, we shouldn't speak. We should only just give a clap. I'll tell you that people don't necessarily understand the differentiation, and they just think we have to clap. But I think it's helpful to be able to announce and say Yalav Yavo so people know what it is that you're clapping for. But to say Yalav Yavo and Shachris, that's problematic, unless it's someone that's not actually davening with you and not up to that point. Let's say you arrive at Maariv, and they're already up to Shmona Esrei. So what should you do? He says you should daven Shmona Esrei with the minyan, and then you say the blessings of Kriya Shema afterwards. V'amnam b'shachris halacha sheyispal kaseder neisha smichas Geulah tefillah b'shachris adifa ala hatefillah b'minyan. In Shachris, it's different. Shachris, you should daven things in order because it's better to have Geulah next to Tefillah, and that's more important than davening Shemona Esrei with the minyan, and therefore you can't do it out of order. Ulam ba'arvis al pi mashalabanu smichas Geulah l'tefillah ein adifa al hatefillah b'minyan. But in Maariv, since it's a lesser level or lesser stringency of this juxtaposition, as we have learned, so therefore putting smichas Geulah l'tefillah is not as important as davening with a minyan. So you should just know that if they're up to Shemona Esrei, and by the way, part of davening with a minyan, or the ikar of davening with a minyan, it's worth pointing out, means saying the silent Shemona Esrei together with a minyan, together with, as part of 10 people, not the repetition, not kedusha, but saying ideally the beginning of Shemona Esrei together, and that's how it should be done. So we thank you for joining us. Another week of learning ahead, and we hope that those in Eretz Yisrael are remembering to say V'sein Talamater. We are not quite there yet, but we'll get there soon enough. Please continue davening for Chalei Tzvah Gnei Yisrael, for Shalom V'chol Pitzui Yisrael, safe return of our hostages. Le'ili Nishmas, Seren Daniel Shomam, and Rav Duram V'Shali Hashem Kum Damo. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for putting up with my mistakes, and we'll see you here next time. Have a great day.